Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this Friday morning, wrapping up a great week, and we're looking forward to bringing you this show again. And we've always appreciated viewership. First of all, we always want to look at the weather, brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning, Drew Pollard and the hard-working crew up there taking care of our everyday comfort needs. Today, now, it's going to be a little on the chilly side, high of 57 and low down in the 30s, maybe 35 here on the coast. It's going to be low. So I was thinking Friday nights, usually in the past, have always been my favorite night to build a fire. I guess because this is sort of the end of the week and you sort of want to get home and relax and throw a log on the fire. Even since I've retired, it's still my favorite night to have a fire. So I know some of y'all may have, a lot of y'all have one going and be looking for the smoke coming out of the chimneys. Moving on, our river readings, take a look at them. Now the water temperature again stayed at 61 all week long, so that's a good sign. The river readings, take a look at the Apalachicola Bluntstown at a 14, around 14 foot. It's going to start dropping out a little bit. And the Choctaw at Caryville is still around 10, dropping on down about 9.5. So hopefully got some rain, in different areas, and that will have an effect on it. Take a look at our tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. We're looking at a low tide this morning at 5:31 and a high tide at 7:24 tonight. And again, fantastic tides, really strong coming on through the weekend. So take advantage of them if you can. Look at our fishing game times. Let's go and do those because it's going to be, we'll do the fishing report later. Brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. We're looking at 8:29 to 10:29 this morning, and this evening from 9:01 to 11:01 p.m. The wind's going to be coming in strong, northwest about 10 to 14. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's catch up on some pictures. We've had so many guests and always sort of behind on the pictures, but it's okay. We're going to catch up. Let's first of all, Gail and I were up at Wendy's up in Tupelo. I want to just check out driving through the neighborhood, and what do you have to wait for? No, it's not the dogs, it's not the cats, it's not the kids on bicycles, but Canadian geese. There's a lake. They live on a lake back behind them, and I love these geese. They're just they'll come up there, and if they're hungry, they're going to come up there on these trees and find them something to eat, and just go on out. Y'all excuse me now. Don't let me get in your way. And you go down to that little lake there, and they're not in a hurry, but I get a kick out of them. Let's see. And then I got, let's see, one more. That's a picture of the rest of them coming. And this is backyard. Watch their dog go out. Look, this is geese in the backyard, and let the dog out. And where did he go? Straight toward those geese, and they just get a kick out of that. So anyway, wanted to just share that with you. Some things going on with the Canadian geese. They're fun. All right, maybe let's see here locally, right here. Don't forget the Kingfish Shootout. We were talking about when they're changing it over. The Sea Quarters Marina is coming from August. They just got the poster out. It's going to be in June the 17th. First place, $5,000. And also they got a red snapper in it this year. That's going to be interesting because the season will be in the second week, and that's going to be fun now. You can do both, kingfish, red snapper. Of course, it's Spanish, so looking forward to the big Kingfish Shootout, the 20th annual. Okay, now move on to some pictures. Guess who this is? This is our early picture of Stan Kirkland back in the day, actually his daughter. We got this from his daughter, and that's Stan on the right now. Well, that's a big old gar, and I don't know the story behind it. When Stan comes back on, we'll try to save this picture and get Stan to explain to us what's going on. But that was Stan back in the early years. I did enjoy seeing that. Okay, here we go. Singing in the shower is all fun and games until you get shampoo in your mouth. Then it just becomes a soap opera. Okay, good. David Rich down at Captain Dave Bar and Grill down on Weewall. David recently got him a nice buck. Rich's IGA in Weewall. Good job, David. He's a good outdoorsman. Early picture from the old Jack Wingate's fish camp. Way back, this would have been back in the early 60s. That's Jack Wingate there. He's just starting out the the fishing lodge there, Jack Wingate's Lunker Lodge. Good old picture. Big Bear, Ernie Martin over there. This is over in the western end now, the Yellow River, north of I-10. These bears are all over. Ernie shared this one with us. I told Ernie he's looking for you. He said, "Where's Coach Martin?" All right. Eddie White sent this. "Hey, Coach, look at this big buck that I shot this evening, and my youngest son took a 9-point. Eddie White here, and I said, my buck was just an 8-point. That's 2 fine bucks, Eddie. Good job." This is interesting. Jonathan Rambo, on the way to check the houseboat, Keegan and I found an owl tangled up in a fishing line. Was able to get the tree limb out of the tree, and the FWC came and picked up the owl. His wing was almost torn off, and that was good save there. And here you can see, okay, there's the fishing line. So hopefully the FWC is really good about getting these animals and that's injured and all. But the fishing line, if you see any fishing line hanging in trees and all, or on the water, even if it's not yours, pick up that extra fishing line. Okay, it's not good. Captain Kim, Sea Quarters Marina. Look at the fancy shoes. So here we go. I didn't look at the shoes first. I look at that mess of brim and crappie and speckled perch. All of that in there. But we will look at the shoes. Just coming down in Carabel, I believe the Carabel River. But now that's a fishing boat right there. Captain Kim, thank you for sharing that picture with us. Okay. I want to, we were talking about the redfish recently. We talked a lot about redfish recently. I ran across a fact sheet on them. I'm not going over all of them, but it's just some interesting facts on the redfish. I was looking for their, I'm just going to go through them, the lifespan. I was looking for the lifespan. I had no idea they could live up to 40 years. Number 2, inshore, offshore. Number 3, estuaries are so important to them. That's why we got to save our estuaries. They're not long distance travelers, so they stay in the general area. And in Florida waters, the average drum can grow up to 40 inches and 40 pounds. Okay, they're spawning in the fall. Okay, commercial harvesting redfish is prohibited, and the red drum is extremely popular in Florida. The state record is 52, bottom left-hand corner, 52 pounds, 5 ounces off Cocoa Beach in 1996. So that record is what, 14, 30, 20-some years old. And then the fly fishing. Can you imagine catching a 43-pound redfish with a fly? And that was by Greg Braunstein, a doctor. And that was in 95. So, both of those records are 27 and 26 years old. That's interesting. So I just wanted to give you a couple of facts. I wasn't quite sure how long they lived. That's what I was looking for. The longevity is something else. Okay? Let's take a break. We'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I have a couple more pictures. I have to show those maybe Monday, but I want to get onto this section right here. Before I do that, again, I want to invite any captains, any inshore captains or freshwater captains on lakes and all. You want to come in and guides and want to talk about your program you do and what you offer on your trips and all. You're welcome to come in. And not just the fishing captains here in the Panhandle, but also viewers. You're welcome to come on the show. If you got some interesting stories or unique adventures or something you want to share with our fellow outdoorsmen, that's to me the beauty of our show. We can just bring in. We'll talk about all kinds of stuff. You can see this week what we've talked about all kinds of stuff, and last week. So anything to do with outdoors and anything you want to share. So you have the invitation. Speaking of sharing and all, this is interesting. This has been on my mind a good while. We spend a lot of time, and I'm proud of the time we spend on getting young people involved in the outdoors. We talk about it all the time. We do it. The FWC helps out on it. A lot of clubs do it, and we do it in our schools, and we're always encouraging young people in the outdoors. With that being said, we also have a couple of groups around here that help the different ones who are not as blessed as us with full health, and some have the terminal situations. So we have Seasons of Hope. Michael Harris started it years ago. Then Derek Fussell came in with Camo Dreams, and really good about helping these kind of people out in those categories that maybe won't get a chance to go. But there's always to me, I've always been concerned, not concerned, but I guess the older I get, the more I see this group of people who our society completely ignores. And we as outdoorsmen, as good as we are, sometimes we ignore them too. And it's the older ones and the ones who have, or maybe having some kind of terminal disease as you get older. And we've left them out. And I got this text. I'm going to read you this text. I'm not going to call out any names. I know the people. I know the situation. And I just want to share this with you because I think a lot of y'all feel the same way. It says, "Hey, Winston," I'm going to skip through the names and all. I don't know, but talking about her husband. His condition, in addition to the Parkinson's, he now is getting dementia. Okay, this is an outdoorsman I've known a long time. Okay. There's little he can do, physically much anymore. He hasn't been in a boat in several years. Now this guy loved fishing, okay, and when it goes on down, she was asking me about if I could find some guides to take him fishing, and so anyway, but then it goes on down. I answered her. Then she sent me this long text. That's what I want to read to you. I will try to get in touch with some folks that. And this is what gets me. He doesn't have much to look forward to. So picture an outdoorsman that's fished his whole life. He doesn't have much to look forward to anymore, and it'll be wonderful for him to get out. He hasn't been asked to go fishing with anyone in years. Winston, it goes on to say, that might be something good to bring up on your show. He dedicated himself, his boat, his time, his equipment, and his gas for years to take strangers and friends fishing. And he never asked for anything in return. He wanted especially to give others without the means an opportunity to experience the joy of fishing and sharing with their families. He took many friends fishing and was known for his accumulation of GPS coordinates and ability to put them on fish. It was hard for him to accept that he could no longer go fishing on his own due to his health, and he could no longer minister to others as he had. He took it hard when we sold his boat, and you can picture that. An outdoorsman, and you can see that boat. That just that's heartbreaking. But he continued to hope the phone would ring and he would be asked to go fishing with someone else. Sad to say, but all those friends disappeared when he could no longer take them fishing. Now he would need assistance to fish, but the experience would be so meaningful to him. I can't help but to think how many other aging fishermen are sitting in their living rooms with on their TV and their memories. Think about that. The need is so great to bring some joy to the lives of those others who have nothing to look forward to day after day. Winston, would you challenge those healthy fishermen out there to reach out maybe once a month for 2 or 3 hours? It wouldn't take long to take these older folks fishing, okay? They can take an elderly neighbor, a relative, someone in a church, someone at a nursing home. Ask their friends for names of people. Be a blessing and pay it forward. Who knows where they may be in a few years. Maybe they can send the photos of the trip and all. But that just hit me hard, because I've seen that kind of stuff happen over the years, and it seems like there's just more and more of it now. And I wish we could do those things like that. I want to, and I got to think about it. Like I say, I want to commend the others who were doing a good job. And I was trying to think of if we could do something like that, and because there's so many out there and just take them out for a couple of hours, and even if you have a little pond or something, maybe you could share your pond, let them go catch some catfish or bring them out of your pond for a couple of hours, because some of them, I know this particular person here, I've known him for a long time, and he's getting Parkinson's, but he was still, you can still get the pole out there and then pull it in, and that needs throughout the Panhandle, and really throughout the country, because the older part of our population, our society in general, has ignored them and continues to ignore them. Once you hit 55 or 60, you're not. A lot of times you're not used to them. So I was trying to come up. I like to come up with all kinds of little logos and things and all. So this is not official, but I was just trying to put it on the bright side. I wrote this down on my doodle. I was going to doodle it for you, but anyway, I wrote here we go, right here. Outdoorsman taking olders and others outdoors. It would be like Otto or something like that. And that's not official. That's just something I was trying to use to get the message over to some of our viewers who are healthy, and even getting, especially some of our young guys in their 20s and all, and teaching them to give back. A lot of times, like I said, we spend so much time with kids, which is rightfully we do, but we do that certain segment of older people. And we're going to have a guy on next week who has an idea, and he's getting started taking some older people hunting and all on some of his areas. So this is something I'm going to push it all. We're going to cover the whole gamut from the young people to the old people, everything in between. So help us all out on that if you have a situation where either someone in need or someone maybe you can take them. So that's a win-win. Thank you. I won't call out your name, but you know where I'm coming from. I know you're watching the show and your heart is in the right place. Okay? All right, now let's get on to moving to, we've got to get going. Let's look at our each Friday, we'd love to give away some seafood thanks to Tarpon Dock Seafood. So here we go. The winner of the big $20 gift certificate. Okay, it's going to be from Springfield, Ivy McCutcheon from Springfield. Congratulations. And the winner of the Big Red Snapper. And that's interesting, they're going to have the Big Red Snapper in the Sea Quarter tournament. All the way from Alpha, Emery Godwin. Congratulations, Emery. Panhandle Sand and Gravel. See, it pays to advertise on Panhandle. That wasn't rigged. You saw where it came from. So, Emery, congratulations. And one more thing on what we just talked about. We're talking about olders and others. So it could be any age group. It don't have to be older people, but others that are maybe not as fortunate as we are with good health. So just get them outdoors and maybe just do some things with them. Okay, we're going to take our break and come back with our famous Friday fishing forecast. Welcome back, folks, and welcome to the famous Friday fishing forecast brought to you exclusively on Panhandle Outdoors. We wanted some of the things we want to talk about. We're right on the verge of pre-spring, so we sort of wrap it up. February is always a challenging month in the outdoors, and we sort of focus on the fishing part. We're looking at things, a situation where it's about to kick off. Always the earliest things in freshwater to me is the red horse suckers, and then in saltwater, of course, the Spanish mackerel. And we're right around the corner from the red horse suckers, and what that is, the fish it starts coming up there up the creeks and all spawning. And like I said, many childhood memories of when my dad tried gigging those things, and we have done some on the show, but that's the early sign of the spring in the freshwater. Of course, the pre-spawning and the bass fishing is you'll start seeing that, and then later on you'll see the brim and all spawning, and on bed. But now on what's going on right now, I put I'm going to do by locations. I got a little report from jetties. The jetties have been slow, not a lot going on at the jetties, but they have caught some redfish and some sheephead on the jetty side where you can wade out. The Choctawhatchee, what's going on in Choctawhatchee Bay? Okay, look at this picture. This picture, I was thinking when I put it up here, this is our viewing area basically, right here from basically Carabel over to Destin to Choctawhatchee Bay, all of South Walton. So anyway, on the Choctaw, the Destin Bridge, again, good reports at the Destin Bridge on the sheephead. That's been a go-to spot. It's always interesting when they're right there in the center. Okay, so you see everything's coming out of Choctawhatchee Bay right in that one pass. It's not like other areas like in some of the other bay systems. So I've got that. And then San Andrew Bay, the trout and redfish have been steady. I know, remember, trout season's closed, but you can still catch trout. You just can't keep them on the boat. The feeder creeks have been good. There's really some nice trout have been caught, but most people are aiming at redfish at different areas and all the way through here. East Bay, Callaway Bayou over here has been good. I mentioned the jetties. Okay, Callaway Bayou has been good. I haven't seen a lot of people, usually when I go across the Tyndall Bridge, there's usually folks fishing there in boats, but this month, the month of February, I just haven't seen that many. Okay, Mexico Beach, been talking, Mitch Coleman is going to come on the show pretty soon, and Mexico, he's going to start giving us reports down there. Mexico Beach has been pretty steady with the whiting, and most of the folks catching them are snowbirds getting out there catching them. So that's a good sign. Don't have any reports from St. Joe Bay, so I can't give you a good report on that. Again, the whiting, I know the whiting bite has been really good at Mexico Beach and the Cape. East Point, I haven't showed you the bridge lately, the East Point Bridge right there. We're talking about right there in the center. Again, that's a go-to spot for catching the black drum had been caught off that and brought in, and it's a lot of folks eat those black drum, so don't worry about that. And in Carabel, you saw the pictures of the young man with his all that freshwater fish that he was catching up around. Let's see, right in here, Carabel. They're going up the river and catching them up the Carabel River and different places, but anywhere the Tate's Hill feeder creeks are good. So anyway, that's really good steady. And then I talk about the freshwater, the pond fishing on freshwater is so good. If you this time of the year, because your pond water is heating up, it's going to heat up faster than the lake. So if you have any freshwater ponds, you can. It'd be a good time to take some folks or go yourself and all. I also wrote down about the winter bait. Talking about what bait to use in winter for the big trout. If you really want to just catch a trophy, you want to try to use live bait, live shrimp. And if you can't get live shrimp, anything that replicates a shrimp, and there have been some really interesting shrimp lures over the years. I've watched them as I collected old fishing tackle. I found some of the early shrimp, and they would come out of St. Augustine. I may have showed you, but they were actually flexible and it looks just like a shrimp. So if you can't get live shrimp, try to get a popping cork and some kind of shrimp replica, and there are tons of them out on the market now, and some really good ones. So I hate to recommend just one, but anything that replicates that motion, because that's what the big one is going to be feeding on. But live bait would be good. So we're right on the verge now. I got that. The big thing about if you can't get a live shrimp, may put a dead shrimp on there. A lot of times I smell, and if you can do anything. So the top three choices are live, dead, and artificial in that order. Okay. We've going to start wrapping things up. We've had a great week. Next week, we've got some special guests coming in, and this weekend, try to get outdoors. It's going to be a little chilly, a little bit challenging at times, but we've got a great tide going on. So if you get a chance to get out there, do it, and just walk through the woods if you get a chance. It's going to be some really fun times and all getting outdoors. I'm going to wrap it up for the week. Thank you all so much for the viewership. Y'all keep sending in those pictures and all. You have a great weekend. Do something good for your fellow man, and God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.